Hey there, we are back. 100 days to brave, and guess what? We are up to day 35. Let me put my glasses on. I am in from work and was sitting at the table looking through some other stuff and thought, get busy. Come on and do this. Get your reading done. Um, Day 35, like I said, 100 days to brave, our daily devotional book is written by Annie F. Downs. And again, we know what it's doing, helping us to become our most brave, our most courageous, our most confident selves, helping us to develop and determine the path that God has for us, helping us to, number one, embrace that path, understand what it is, and begin to work and move in that. And just to become more brave or more confident overall, right? That's what it's helping me to do. We are in the portion of the book now that is brave enough to work hard. Working hard is not for the faint of heart. So let's get into day number 35. Multiple expressions. With my whole heart I seek you. Let me not wander from your commandments. That's Psalms 119, verse number 10. Maybe you've taken the last few days to figure out your calling. Maybe God has given you a clear picture and you're exploring what that looks like in your life. As you sort through this with the Lord, don't listen to the enemy when he tries to discourage you. Hear this. You are not too old to figure out your calling, and you're not too young to have already had multiple expressions of it. Before the writings and the speaking and the books and the travel, I taught elementary school. It's actually the job I always dreamed of. I have vivid memories of second and third grade, particularly my teacher, Miss Albers. I loved her. I remember leaving third grade and thinking, this is who I want to be. This is what I want to do. And almost immediately from that point on, I pursued being a teacher. I went to the University of Georgia. I studied teaching, and then I taught elementary school. I loved it. I particularly loved it during the winter when the bulletin board designs were awesome and the parties. I know, it shocks you that I would be the teacher who was like, I like the parties. I guess I like the kids learning things too. I loved reading books out loud to them. I loved being in their everyday lives. It was a dream job. While I was doing that, I was also volunteering with my local church's youth group, and I started writing curriculum for them. Then, one day, our youth pastor was sick and asked me to teach. And all of this snowballed until I had these two competing careers. I would go home from school and write all night and drink all the caffeine from all the caffeine stops on my way to school the next day. And I felt like God put this opportunity in front of me and was like, hey, this writing and speaking thing, you want to try? So God asked me if I wanted to be brave, and I said yes. I've had two full careers, two very different careers, but my calling has always been the same. I believe that we all have one calling, but it can be expressed in lots of ways. One calling, multiple expressions. Be brave and explore them. Our point brought out today is, I've had two full careers, two very different careers, but my calling has always been the same. All right, let's get into the call to action today. Be brave. Is God revealing some different ways you might express your calling? Is God revealing some different ways you might express your calling? Something to think about, determine what's what. This section of the book, Brave Enough to Work Hard, Working Hard is Not for the Faint of Heart. It started for us 3 days ago at day 33. And for that one, if you remember, it was all about what are you created to do. It asks us to take the time to listen to God. You know, we can pray and ask Him, or say to Him that we want to hear from Him, ask Him to show us what He wants us to do to live out our callings. So that was something we can pray, you know, God, speak to me. I want to hear from you. What is my calling that I am to live out in my life? Then we're to get quiet, journal about whatever we hear Him speaking back to us. Then yesterday, day 34, that was about one calling. And that again was pretty much saying how we all have one calling expressed in different ways. But it talked about the call to action was for us to write out a thesis statement for our life. And as we know, a thesis is the main point of a story or writing or whatever. So it was all about writing out that life thesis statement and determining what that theme was in our life. So then as we get into day 35, with multiple expressions again, just delving, you know, just taking another step in that same direction again, that one calling, but many ways that it can be expressed. So for Annie F. Down, she likens it to her teaching career, how, you know, she taught in school, she did it with her Sunday school, then went on to becoming a writer and a speaker. So, again, for us, what are some different ways we might express our calling? So, we're getting into some nitty-gritty, not nitty-gritty difficult, but just nitty-gritty, and applying some of the things that we're reading about through her daily devotionals, and, you know, applying it to ourselves. So, again, helping us to embrace the path and the plan that God has for us, as her book states. I obtained the book from Amazon. You too can do the same, or check it out for free at your local library, or buy it from your local bookstore. But definitely, as I've said before, continue to follow along with me on this journey. I am appreciating the time that I get to share the book with you and the interactions and stuff that we have as we all journey on to Brave together. So again, we've got multiple expressions. So let's dig a little deeper, determine what that calling is, because again, working hard is not for the faint of heart. And I wish stuff would just fall from the sky and drop in my lap and I have to put no effort in. But as we know, reality, that's not the way it works out sometimes for us. So again, appreciating this journey, glad that you guys are going on it also, and looking forward to the additional growth that will happen. So look back at some of the other days' readings if you want to get a little bit more info. If you haven't checked them out already, it's definitely not too late to start over, go back to any of the lessons, and again, let's continue this journey together. So today we're going to look at the multiple ways God is revealing for us to express our calling. So that was day number 35 in the books. I'll be back tomorrow with day number 36. Have a great day.